Okay guys, what's up? This is a video guide for those of you that have some power steering noises on your Subaru. The most common ones, there's two very common ones on Subarus, and I'll explain what causes them. If you hear a buzzing sound, like on your power steering, first obviously check the fluid level, see if it's up to the top or the right mark. If it's low or not in there, fill it up and the noise should go away. Obviously you have a leak. If it's not that, then I would check the pump. Before replacing the pump, you want to check two things. Number one, take the bolt out of here. It's a 10mm bolt. Lift it up. This is the power steering suction nip, okay? And once you do that, you'll see an O-ring right here, and you can replace that O-ring. Usually they're rock hard by now. They've been in cars for 10, 20 years, maybe more, depending on how old your Subaru is. So yeah, definitely check into the O-ring right there. And then the other part, which is the hose right here. This one is a STI, and here's the part number for the STI, but they're going to be different for every car. Okay, what happens is the hose, see, I can squish it, it's malleable, and the original one, this one is rock hard. I can't even squeeze that thing. That's what she said. And when that happens, the seal is no longer there, and it will suck air, and this is the suction hose. Okay, this is a larger suction hose. This is the return hose right here. If that's kind of leaking a little bit or something, or wet, it's usually not going to cause any problems, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to change it at this point, because it's going to be, kind of hard. But yeah, so what happens is this line going to the power steering rack, the return line, all the fluid that is not pressurized goes inside here, fills up the reservoir, and then it gets pulled from this point. This larger hose gets sucked in to the pump right there, and that's what feeds the pump. So if there's a air leak on the hose or the O-ring, that's going to be 95% the reason why your pump is making noise and leaking. The other possibilities are, I'll show you on this pump, this one right here. There's the seal for the bearing, and when that seal goes, it can also suck air and make noise. This can be replaced separately, but I'm not sure what the part number is. And the other possibility is there's an O-ring that goes across this entire back piece. That can be replaced as well. I don't have the part number for that. And then there's a sensor in the back right here, and that sensor is a pressure sensor. It tells the engine to speed up the RPMs a little bit when you're turning, to keep the car from stalling and to assist the power steering. So that can also leak. There's an O-ring on the back of that as well. And yeah, here's the old one. The old O-ring wasn't so good, and it was leaking a little bit. So those are the most common causes for power steering leak, mostly being the suction hose right here and the suction O-ring. Two most common. The other ones are, I would say, this O-ring in the back for the pressure switch, and the seal in the front, and then finally this seal in the middle. I mean, if the whole thing is leaking, you might as well just change your pump at that point, but pumps usually take a lot to kill, so there's that. Also, you're gonna want to change the power steering fluid I do it every 40,000 miles. What you do is you suck out the old fluid and you fill it, and I usually do about half a quart worth of fluid while the engine's running or while it's off. Just suck it out and fill it with transmission fluid or power steering fluid, whatever's recommended. That actually helps prolong the life of the O-rings and the seals and the hoses. A lot of people don't even think it's neglected. Let's just put it that way. It gets neglected. And finally, what you can do, if you can look down in there and there's like a mesh screen, you can actually get a little rare earth neomagnet and drop it in there. Like, here's a rare earth magnet right here. See, it's a little neomagnet you can get from Harbor Freight or online. Very powerful. And this magnet will collect any metal debris. So you can drop that inside there and it will also prolong the life of your pump and the rack. And if the pump's leaking, the rack's probably leaking too, unfortunately, because they're all sharing the same system. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If anybody has part numbers, post them up in the comments and I'll put it in the description. If you have any questions, use that comment area to ask questions, but it'd be a lot easier. I respond quicker on Instagram. Follow Subtle Driver on Instagram. Check out my quick tech tip videos, and there's some entertaining stuff in there. I'm kind of a dork, so check it out. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Shoot a like, leave a comment, and please share the video to help other people save money on their power steering system on their Subaru. Thank you.